Meet Ada, the world's first robot artist.
I paint, draw, and design using cameras in my eyes, my AI algorithms, and my robotic arm.
Ada is only one of the many AI products that have appeared in 2023, the year when artificial intelligence went viral around the world. A turning point came with OpenAI's release of ChatGPT, a form of generative AI that uses language inputs to produce text. Users flock to the platform to ask factual questions, seek medical advice, or receive help learning foreign languages. The success of ChatGPT led other tech companies like Google, Meta, and Chinese search engine Baidu to release their own products. But these language models were flawed and sometimes made comical mistakes while reflecting various biases. There was also controversy over the use of AI to generate fake images. Artists have launched lawsuits against tech companies for scraping their data without their consent. Hollywood actors and writers went on strike over concerns that artificial intelligence may be used to produce fake versions of their work. The growing sophistication of AI has also fueled fears that humans might one day create technology that could outsmart them.
Recently, I and many others have been surprised by the giant leap realized by systems like ChatGPT, to the point where it becomes difficult to discern whether one is interacting with another human or a machine. These advancements have led many top AI researchers, including myself, to revise our estimates of when human-level intelligence could be achieved. Previously thought to be decades or even centuries away, we now believe it could be within a few years or decades. The shorter time frame, say 5 years, is really worrisome because we'll need more time to effectively mitigate the potentially significant threats to democracy, national security, and our collective future.
Concerns also grew about the potential security threat posed by AI, including in autonomous weapon systems.
The malicious use of AI systems for terrorist, criminal, or state purposes could cause horrific levels of death and destruction, widespread trauma, and deep psychological damage on an unimaginable scale. AI-enabled cyber attacks are already targeting critical infrastructure and our own peacekeeping and humanitarian operations, causing great human suffering. The technical and financial barriers to access are low, including for criminals and terrorists. Both military and non-military applications of AI could have very serious consequences for global peace and security.
This prompted unprecedented efforts at the international level to consider regulation of AI. In November, the UK hosted the first global summit on AI, which included the US and China. And in December, the European Union agreed on the AI Act to regulate artificial intelligence. But it is still early days. The sophistication of AI and efforts to constrain it will likely intensify in the coming year. Rupert Stone, TRT World.
Let's get more on this now with Alexander Leszczyk in Washington, D.C. He's the founder of Zen AI. Good to have you with us, Alexander. 2023 really was the year that artificial intelligence exploded onto the public consciousness in a big way. A lot of people would point to the launch of ChatGPT in terms of contributing to that. What impact has that chatbot had on people's knowledge of AI?
I think at this point it's more important almost to say what impact has it not had. It's penetrated virtually every industry. One of the things we like to say is artificial intelligence, in a nice form. One, it's in no particular order. One, it's not really an optional thing because it's trickled down from the largest companies in the world, the same individuals who were in their garage building, the infrastructure and the technological infrastructure that we have are the same individuals or same entities and corporations that have decided to trickle this down to us. ChatGPT was, of course, the kickoff. I think one of the silent precursors or ignitions to this entire movement, though, was Google, and the fact that they were an untested and not just obviously it's common knowledge. Elon Musk was and Sam Altman met here in DC. years ago to discuss the threat of Google's just mass database of knowledge. I myself like to consider myself a Google scholar, but Google was actually what sort of led to this and ignited this when they realized there was this almost mass centralization of all data. When you have really essentially, I mean, I don't know too many people who use Ask Jeeves anymore. So Google had kind of, I think, worries from that is what kicked this off, and it feels like it's been around for about 70 years.
Can we talk about regulation now? Because governments have been blamed for being too slow to regulate social media, and now it looks like some governments are trying to get out in front of AI technology. The EU has released draft regulations for the sector. In the new year, can we expect more governments perhaps looking to launch more new proposed laws around artificial intelligence?
100%. I would expect some sort of I don't know about sweeping or umbrella regulation, but you'll definitely have something that kind of mitigates it. I think one of the things with the AI Summit, what prompted us with our AI Matter initiative was to create a global collective outside of the major, I believe it's 9 major artificial intelligence companies. You do need around $10 billion roughly. The training of GPT-4 itself cost, and that's not GPT-4 Turbo, GPT 3.5. GPT-4 alone's training was a little over $100 million. So not the average individual doesn't have that sitting around just to train a model. So I think, yeah, the biggest thing is these companies and bringing more of a say outside of because the government. I know in the United States, one of the things we're worried about is we would have the same panel, same government that didn't understand how Facebook was making money from ads up until 2018, 2017, when they were making several billion a year. So the AI summit that was held, at least here in the United States, from the collective's perspective, has been something that was not unlike almost when JP Morgan and the Vanderbilts and all those individuals had met years ago. Yeah. It was a good thing, a necessary thing. I think the biggest thing with governments now is for the first time in history, and it's going to take a little bit more, maybe old-fashioned government, what government was designed for, but to take individuals collectively throughout society, throughout the world, who are not part of the big 7 to big 10 in the AI market cap space, and because you do have quite a few, even the developers of Mixtral AI, which is one of the Falcon, those are 2 great open source things. I think there has to be a say outside of government and outside of large market cap artificial intelligence companies, because to run a true model, again, does cost significant money. So the government will act, and from what I've heard, there'll be some sort of just very broad actions. But one of the things I think that's important to remember throughout this is coding is in the United States is a First Amendment. It's protected under the same rights that freedom of speech is. So that can get sticky. I think that's kind of keeping the government from doing certain things because they just don't know. They don't want to jump into areas where they're not sure. Right. And I think they're taking a lot of guidance from bigger players who dropped this down, because that would only make sense.